the public hearing that the selectmen conducted a few weeks ago, they asked me to clarify a number of issues that were in the license, and I said I would, and I met with the chairman this afternoon and went over those issues that he raised during the public hearing. The first one was the return line and the guarantee that the committee sought that it would remain at $26,400.
Not to exceed that.
Not to exceed that, that's correct. I told him that...
Actually, had some change in there, but you rounded it off.
Yeah, no, there is some change in there. I told him that I could put that in a side letter, but not in the license with date certain. And that would mean that, I'll give you for an example, if the license was signed March 1st, then we would expect a letter from a board requesting the return line begin construction no later than, say, September 1st of 2008 or something like that, so that there's a timeline in there, that it doesn't just extend into the following year, and then the cost of that certainly would go up, and we couldn't agree with that. So he seemed to be, he said he present all these things I told him. He said he's going to present to his board once I gather some more information. So that was the first. Any questions? Okay, the next one was regarding.
Well, that's the matter of the presentation, the side letter. Is there any disagreement that can be handled that way? That is a legal document. Anybody have any objection or question?
The next one was we get in discussion about once the return line was complete, and Peter had he and I were talking long distance over cell phone. I think he kind of misunderstood what I said. Is that once the return line is complete, then Comcast would pass that return line over to the town, and the town would then run channel 22. It'd be their channel to run. And the chairman of the board asked me what it would take to get going, and I said, well, your committee was presented with a presentation by a vendor, audio-visual vendor, and I believe he said it would probably, to get going, cost about $10,000. And then I talked about the fact that we just wouldn't leave the town high and dry. We would help with the changeover and that sort of thing, and donate to the town a playback machine. And he was a little bit more interested in more than just that. So he asked if there's any way we could loan the town $10,000. So I went back and discussed it with folks at the divisional level, and there is a way divided into two separate categories. And the first one would be in the first year, it's estimated that the franchise fee would be around $5,000. So what we would do is we would advance $5,000 to the town and then just take it from the franchise fee. And then once that's paid off, then we would then start to accumulate that franchise fee for the town. The remainder balance would then be given as a loan to the town, and it would be passed through as a franchise-related cost, as we've talked about over the last several months. I need to get the cost of that, of what the cost of that would be, and then he'd have to. He said the board would like to take a look at that, so I need to have financial people prepare that.
So the original $26,000 or whatever it is for the...
I'm going to get to that. So that would then, what we would do is, say if that was agreeable and the financing went fine, then you would, after the license is signed, you present the town a check of $10,000, and then they could then begin to look at the audio-visual equipment, go out, purchase it, and then once the return line is complete, then you could get, it would be sort of a easy transition from going from us doing the playback to you folks doing the playback, and then starting to do much more than just playback stuff. So that is an option that he would like to look at, he and his board would like to look at. The option, I mean, there's the return
Gene
line.
Coors, the chairman of the board of
Yeah,
selectmen.
Gene Coors, yeah.
Right.
And then there's the return line cost, which is a franchise-related cost that you've all looked at, what the cost was for that. So that's something that he wants to look at too, so I will forward that to him as well. And the two remaining issues are Old Ridge Road, that I'd like to talk about now, if you're, I mean, you can go.
Oh, good.
As you know, I passed around at the very beginning, I think sometime in September, the cost to build that out is about $10,000. It's a little less than $10,000.
By the way, just so everybody knows the character, you know, Jay is representing Comcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was kind of presuming, yeah.
And he would like to see a cost of that as a franchise-related cost. I believe, I don't have my notes in front of me, but I know there's about 6 to 8 homes on Old Ridge Road that don't have cable, that the town fathers think that the road should be built, but they need to get a little bit further information as far as the cost goes. So we are looking at that, and that will be looked at by the selectmen as a franchise-related cost. So that would be a line item that they would also look at. And then what would happen is that then if they agree to that, that gets built, and then the subscriber would just have to pay for the drop into the house, whatever. If it's a long drop, it would naturally be a little bit more. I don't know how far you live off the road, but if it's, considerable, that would be a cost associated with
What,
it.
175?
Yeah, 175. And then after
Straight to the house.
175.
Straight on.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
No, so I
Okay.
guess that's just all in the works.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second part of that was the fact that we identified, and I passed out to you, that I think there were 67 homes that did not currently receive the access channel. And I gave you a cost of re-engineering that. And he would like to see that broken out as a franchise-related cost.
Those are homes that are being Comcast,
Yes,
but it's being fed from other towns.
that's correct.
So they don't get the public
Yeah,
access.
that's correct. And
You said the number is 69?
I think it's 67, but it may be less or more. I have to take a look at that.
And the estimate, as I recall, is
It's
probably about
43,000.
41,000?
Yeah. And so what he'd like to see...
41 or 43?
I think it was 43. He would like to see also, this is Gene, he would like to see what the cost would be to the subscriber over the term of the license, which is 10 years. So what I plan to do is put together kind of a spreadsheet that would list the franchise fee at 0.5%, the franchise-related cost for the return line, the franchise-related cost for the remainder of buying the audio-visual equipment, the franchise-related cost for Old Ridge Road, and the franchise-related cost for the re-engineering of those streets that we identified as cannot receive the access channel. So he is going to, once I put that together, I'll give that to him, give you a copy, and then he'll bring it to his board, and then they can discuss about it, and they can take a look at it. And that basically is what we talked about. We talked about some language that they wanted to know a little bit more about in the license, and then we left it.